Oh, so how is he trip back from Colonia going? Oh, let's fucking find out. Well, at the end of the last video, I was here. The stopover in the Monster Nebula in AA-887. And I had decided that I was going to return to the this area here, the trail with the neutron stars and what have you. But in the end, I couldn't do that for one reason, because firstly, for some reason, in fact, actually looking at it, I think I've gone on a bit for... No, I haven't. No, yeah, this is right. Firstly, I decided that the next stopover... See, this is Outpost 6. So the next stopover was 5, and I thought, well, it doesn't look that far away. So I carried on to here, and from here I was going to rejoin the neutron and white dwarf star field. But this bookmark here is where it ends, the southernmost point, and I've gone way past it. In fact, that was the second fuck up I made. The first fuck up was when I went to the neutron star field and started heading south. I should have headed north, because let's see, this say it's the southernmost point. There's nothing from here, and it's very sparse by the time you get to here. So here, this is the Monster Nebula, where I'd already stopped, and I'd already been checking out the field. There is Colonia. Sagittarius A star is there, and here is the northernmost point of that neutron star field. That's how long it goes on for. So I could have followed it all the way there, and as well as being able to scan a lot more neutron stars and a lot more fucking white dwarf stars and what have you, it also would have put me in a perfect position to do the trip heading downwards through the core. But no, I didn't do that. So from here, I'd already said that I wasn't going to the Skaldi Nebula again because I've already been there. Now that's Outpost 4, which means that from here I then had to go to Outpost 3, which is here. It's 7,500 light years of absolutely fuck all. There were no neutron stars, no white dwarfs, no black holes, no carbon stars, no wolf rats, no nothing. It's all fucking boring shit. There may have been like the occasional ammonia world, the occasional Earth-like. I only found one Earth-like actually. I found about 2 or 3 water giants and about a dozen or so water worlds. But that was it. It was all full of just fuck all else. And doing that for 7,500 light years, it was driving me around the fucking bend. I just couldn't stand it. There was one time over a period of 3 days I covered about 200 light years, because as soon as I would start playing it I'd just be like, fuck this, I'm just so bored with it, and just quit again. So anyway, I eventually did it, then carrying on going to Lagoon Nebula. There wasn't a vast amount of decent stuff between those two outposts either. Then from Lagoon I went on to Eagle Nebula, which is where I am now. Not Eagle Nebula, this place, Blue Thwar AI-A C14-10. As I say, that's where I am now. Actually, I don't want the brown dwarf and protostars showing yet. So that means that my next stop in terms of where I land is back in the populated zone, Shinrarta Dezhra, 2079 light years away. Yeah. So the net result then is that my balance is currently at 970,065,847. It also means that my current assets are at 2,116,358,836. And because the important ones, the exploration systems visited is now at 13,451. Profits from exploration is at 329,427,049. Level 3 detailed scans are at 303,322. Total height space distance of 414,599, and total height space jumps to 21,561. And I'm not finished yet, but I have made around 113 million on this trip so far. Now I don't think I'm going to make a vast amount more than that. I might get it up to about 115 million if I'm lucky, but yeah, I don't think I'm going to find much in the way of interesting systems between here and Shinrarta. The chances of finding any firsts are pretty much zero, so it's just a case of plodding through them all and trying to get this fucking return trip finished. It's the old problem with exploration. I've always had it. The trip out is fine, I've got no problem with it, but the trip back is fucking murderous. I fucking hate it. But yeah, I mean, obviously you've got to do it, so here I am, hopefully close to finishing it. So was it worth doing? Well, yeah, I mean, okay, parts of it were fucking tedious. Yeah, exactly. But you know, 996.98, that'll do. Shit, I haven't filtered it. There we go. 48 jumps. So this is the other problem. Because I'm now in an area where there aren't very many systems, it's taking me a lot more jumps to do the fucking fag's gone out. But yeah, it's taking me more jumps to do the 1,000 light years. So head back to the surface. This planetary base, the system it's in is not inside a nebula. It's the only one that isn't, so it's not the most interesting of locations. So right, let's get the fuck out of
Landing
here.
gear retracted.
Ship released. You may depart when ready.
Get this started.
Frameshift drive charging. 4, 3.
That sounded really good. So it sounds like after the voices stopped working there. Another shining example of the level of quality of the game. So with 2079 light years to travel, I think it's probably going to be as near as, damn it, 100 jumps. So I'll be around 13,551 when I finally get back.
Frameshift drive charging.
Now I freely admit that I am not doing a lot of scanning when I do actually arrive in the system.
4, 3, 2,
Because
1. Engage.
I'm basically at the point now where I just want to get this trip done. And yeah, unless there is an exceptionally valuable planet like well, Waterworld or better, I ignore all of them. Oh, unless I can scan them without having to actually fly to them. But whenever I arrive in a system, I find myself seriously hoping that there's going to be fuck all in it, so I can just instantly fuck off to the next one, because it would hurt if I had the scanner selected. Alright, what have we got here? Looks like quite a few gas giants. Well, I'm definitely not going all that way. Ben Ryder must have a serious case of OCD. Scan all of these. Fuck, every single one. Oh well. I don't mind scanning gas giants because unless they are exceptionally small, these ones I can scan them all from a decent distance away. So anyway, I will be back when something interesting happens, which is most likely going to be when I am in Shinrarta Dezhra itself. Class 2, not bad. Haha! 45 jumps to Shinrarta Dezhra. At last. I'll say that because I was celebrating. I've still got 45 jumps to go, and it's
disengaged.
It's getting fucking unbearable. But I'm about 930 light years away from it, so I can finally
Frameshift drive
actually plot the course. And I was actually expecting it to be more jumps than that, because I've still got the filter on the route, so I'm still avoiding all of the shitty brown dwarf stars and towering stars. But yeah, the same number of jumps as it would have been if the filter was not on. So, we're almost there, well, sort of almost there. So unfortunately all the jumps are starting to take a fucking long time, because I'm stupid enough to be playing this game at 9:30 on a Saturday, so you know the servers can't handle it. But anyway, right, so I'll be back then when, almost certainly when I'm about to enter Shinrarta, because in this area of space I am not going to find anything interesting at all. Not that I'm doing a great deal of scanning either. So, yeah, well, back whenever. Well, this is indeed a very welcome sight. Yes, a badly needed cup of tea. And the other welcome sight is Shinrarta Dezhra, the next stop.
Frameshift drive
So,
charging.
let's bring this trip to an end.
4, 3, 2, 1, engage.
I'll say one thing, I am going to miss this
Fuel scoop.
8A fuel scoop. It's the fucking bollocks.
Fuel scoop.
Going back to a 6A fuel scoop after this is going to feel
Fuel scoop
probably
disengaged.
extremely slow. So I do have a couple of ideas of what to do next. I won't give them away just yet, but now that I am back in the populated zone, obviously I am back in my private group. But I am curious to see how my exploration stats finish. I have got some data still to sell, obviously, from the 2079 light year trip from the last stopover to here, but there wasn't really very much interesting. A few water wells, but that was it, and I really did not scan very much indeed, so I can't see me making a fortune. But I mean, there were 100 systems, give or take. Actually, I think it was 98 systems that I scanned, so I should make something. Not a fortune, but I should make something. So I've already made over 110, or I think it's 112 million on this trip so far, so it's definitely been a profitable journey. Yes, I have this transaction that I forgot to hand in. That's from back around Colonia. So obviously I want to go somewhere where I can cash that in around here. Let's see how rusty I am at docking in stations. Bad. This not looking too good though.
Landing gear deployed.
There we go. We have made it. Let's go out, hang on.
Landing complete. Clear to disembark. mark. Enjoy your visit, Commander.
Yes, I intend to. Right, so that's where they stand at the moment. Let's see what changes will be made when I sell the cartographic data here, but first of all let's do the old maintenance. So 66,829, that's bugger all, so let's round it up to 67,000. I will be making more than that. I did not think I'd be making a million on the page though. 1,109,518. Definitely take that. I do not expect any firsts, because, well, there were barely any systems at all that had, you know, unscanned objects. Yeah, no firsts at all, not a surprise. Second page, 882,608, and that should be, yeah, it's just those two pages. There we go. So, that should not crash the desktop, no. So, the final exploration stats are: systems visited 13,548, profits from exploration 331,419,175, level 3 detailed scans 309,102, total height space distance 416,855. Total height space jumps 21,661. Those are pretty good stats. The only other stat that will change is assets, which finish at 2,118,284,129. I'll take that. I know there are plenty of players who have more than that, but yeah, I'll take that. Now, the balance, that has not yet been finished. 971,991,140, but there is still some changes to be made, because of course I have some temporary items fitted. And you get to see the lovely chrome paint job. So, the optional internals. So the 8A fuel scoop, I can get shot of. I don't need that anymore. That's made a change to the balance, alright. I also do not need the 6A auto field maintenance unit. So, that's made a change as well. Now, what was the other thing I didn't need? Oh, it's this, yes, that cargo rack. Right, so now I can fit the stuff that I have in storage. So, 8A cargo rack goes back on. So does the 6A fuel scoop. And the train shift interdictor. There we go, so now the ship is back in our old configuration, and now we see the finished stats. So the balance then, 1,239,154,536. Yeah, I'm happy with that. So I'll just take a screenshot of the exploration stats, because I've been keeping a record of those. But that's where I am, the end of that trip then. Certainly worth doing. I made, say, certainly over 100 million on that on that entire journey. Right, well that is it. So yeah, now go away.